Everyone feels seen here during a time when the world is erasing people of color and the marks that they have made. And that feels safe and it feels like home.
Tell me the story of how the Power Building Group emerged from last year's REST conference.
Well, we had an elder speak at the conference that talked about, how do you create change in the system? And afterwards, I asked her, after decades of doing work in this early childhood system, what was needed, what was missing? And she talked about collective action from communities of color, and that this was we needed a movement where our voices were at the top, where our voices were leading.
The power for transformation starts within us. I believe that the work of early childhood leaders of color requires a deeper understanding of self and a commitment to self-care.
Yeah, the experience really started with this first fundamental question of what is power building? And then from there we went to what is collective power building? And then we explored what is collective power building in solidarity. And so that progression, that journey as we talked through the different layers of what it could mean for us personally and for our communities and for our collaboratives, it was very personal, but it was also helping us as a group realize that we were building community just in the conversation about collective power building. And then that sense of intimacy that we had as an intergroup gave us a lot of inspiration of what's going to happen when it ripples out and includes the larger community that we're forming here for the early childhood leaders of color.
Can you describe how being a part of ECLC how's that helped in your leadership journey? How's it supported your wellness or sustainability? Or what has being in this community kind of meant for you?
So I think there's a few offshoots I would share, right? So I think first I sought community, and I think ECLOC brilliantly has created that in a way that I can connect with people in all different places that are experiencing the same systems that we're trying to operate within to help our families or children or whomever is kind of being touched by them. And I think when I have come into spaces at ECLOC, it just feels like, okay, we recognize that, and I don't need to explain all this stuff to you, because you are also experiencing that. And so we can get a lot further in like, who are you, who am I, and what is the work you're doing that intersects with my work.
How was your REST experience this year?
Oh, my REST experience was amazing. It was totally amazing. I actually got here and got the REST, as one person said, the non-obligation to go, not to have to go to conferences, go to these classes, gave us the choice of going, and everybody went. Because we didn't have the obligation to go, it gave us the opportunity to rest.
I feel like what the collaborative does incredibly well is to create relational trust. So there are just feedback loops that are just always happening in real time. And everyone's so nimble and flexible to kind of make those adjustments, whether it's on something more complex like a collective power work group that has never existed, that we are building together, or the activities or the loudness of the music.
It has been truly joyful over the course of the past year to be in community with people, to really lean into what does it look like to embody our leadership in a different kind of way, to actually connect with our bodies, to slow down, to continuously be guided by this. How do we be more intentional and thoughtful? How do we spend time in our doing of the work so that we're not recreating patterns of harm, patterns of iniquity. And so it's been incredibly joyous to be able to spend this year leaning into that slowness, leaning into what does it look like to do that in community, and how does it usher in, again, a different way, a different presence with one another.